What's up, guys? It's Nod back here with another video, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about my WWE Slammy Awards. Now these are going to be my opinions on who I think would win these awards, who would be the nominees, but in this video I'm just going to be talking about my nominees, and later on in the year, in a couple of weeks, I will be doing who wins these awards. Now leave your opinions down in the comment section below on who you think would win the Slammy Awards, because that is how I'm going to be doing it. It's going to be your picks on who my nominees are. Now, I picked 5 nominees for each categories, and the categories are the men's, women's, tag team, breakout star, return, rivalry, gear, and match of the year. Now, those are the 8 categories I have listed on here. So let's not waste any more time, and let's get down with the nominees. So first, we're going to start it off with the men competitor of the year. Now, this was a hard category. All these men have done great. There's been a lot of releases made, so that took people out of the list that I believe could have been on this list. But let's get down. And the 5 nominees for Men's Superstar of the Year are Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, Big E, Bobby Lashley, and Drew McIntyre. Now, those 5 men have had a great year so far, and what really came down to it with these men is who was the most consistently good competitor. Like, if they took a break, it was for a short period of time, and they came back and went straight back to the top. So that is what made me pick these 5 superstars for Men's Competitor of the Year. Now we move on to Women's Competitor of the Year. We have Sasha Banks, Charlotte Flair, Bianca Belair, Becky Lynch, and Rhea Ripley. Now, similar to the men's, these were who I think has done the best consistently this year, and who, like I said, if they took a break from, they would shoot straight back to the top, and they would just keep improving, and they would be consistently at the top of their game every single time they would be on TV. And also, those 10 superstars that I named for the men's and women's will go into the category for overall superstar of the year. So those 10 superstars also are nominated for overall superstar of the year. Now we move on to tag team of the year. Now, this tag team of the year was very hard to pick from, because as we know, WWE really just doesn't care for their tag teams. They have released so many tag teams this year. Tag teams have been broken up, so it was very hard to choose. And what I've gone through this, you'll notice, is that none of the released superstars are going to be nominated for these awards, mostly because they are not with the company anymore. So I feel like there's no need to, I would say, add them to this list. So yes, this is very hard to choose from, but the top 5 tag teams of the year, this is both male and female. It is The New Day, Natalya and Tamina, the Usos, RK Bro, and the Street Profits. Now, I feel like these are 5 tag teams who made their marks this year. I mean, the Usos, New Day, make their mark every single year. The Street Profits, RK Bro. The Street Profits had an amazing year. They've been very consistently booked in main tag team storylines. And also Natalya, Tamina, and RK Bro were new tag teams this year, but they've set their mark and put their names on the map in the tag team division. Next up, we have a category that I personally like, because I like to see new stars break out. It is Breakout Star of the Year. Now, this was very hard because it was a very big breakout year for so many superstars. There was a bunch of superstars that I put on, and it was so hard to make these down to the top 5. So that is why I'm going to break the rules that I made up and make a top 6. This is going to be the only category with the top 6 because I could not just narrow it down to 5 superstars. So on this list for Breakout Star of the Year, we have Damian Priest, Bianca Belair, Riddle, Bobby Lashley, Rhea Ripley, and Liv Morgan. Now, these 6, they have been killing it ever since this year started. Some of them started off on tag teams, broke from their tag teams, and just went straight to the top. Some of these started off just new on on the main roster with Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest, but they have shot to the top, getting WrestleMania moments, getting title opportunities, they've just been killing it ever since. Bobby Lashley's had a breakout year, winning the WWE title, winning multiple big matches, even one at WrestleMania. Riddle, same thing. He started off with the United States title, the mid-card title, but it has been skyrocketing ever since he joined with Randy Orton. And Bianca Belair, this has been her year. She's been killing it ever since she's started off this year, and I am so excited to see it. So that is why I choose these 6 superstars for Breakout Star of the Year. And next up, we have the Return of the Year. This category was very hard to choose from. I would say it's not as hard as the other ones, but there was a couple returns that I really liked this year, but I narrowed it down to 5. We have Edge returning at the Royal Rumble, John Cena returning on SmackDown during his little Summer of Cena, Becky Lynch returning at SummerSlam, Sasha Banks returning on the SmackDown a couple weeks before SummerSlam, and also at Extreme Rules, which one you want to think of. And we have Zelina Vega returning to SmackDown and returning to the WWE. Now, these were some returns that I feel like stuck with me throughout the whole year, whether they happen at the beginning like Edge, or whether they happen towards the end like Becky Lynch's during SummerSlam. I feel like these always stuck with me, and these were the most memorable returns for me this year. And I feel like all 5 of these superstars had great returns and did great stuff after their returns. Next up, we have Rivalry of the Year. Now, this one was a little hard because I loved so many rivalries throughout this year. And I feel like all these rivalries were very memorable, and there's so many more. Like, I wanted to put Randy and The Fiend, but The Fiend's not in the WWE anymore, so that kind of took out that feud, and that feud was a pivotal moment this year. I mean, that was a feud that lasted from the end of last year to WrestleMania of this year, so it's I wish I could have put that on there, but Fiend's not in WWE anymore. So let's just continue with the top 5 rivalries. We have Randy Orton and Edge, Seth Rollins and Edge, Drew McIntyre and Bobby Lashley, Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair, and Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch. Now, Charlotte and Becky was the one that squeaked by. That is the ones that took the place of Randy and The Fiend. But I feel like they deserve to have Rivalry of the Year nomination because that was a very intense rivalry. It was a real-life rivalry. And the match that came out of it was absolutely incredible. Next up, we have Ring Gear of the Year. Now, this one's a kind of a fun category because I really like when people actually take time into their ring gear. So my picks for Ring Gear of the Year are Sasha Banks, The New Day, that means Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston, Seth Rollins, Bianca Belair, and Queen Zelina. Now, I feel like all these superstars have had great gears. Every time they came out, I fell in love with the gears that they were coming out with. Even sometimes the gears that they would just do promos in. I feel like with Seth, Sasha, and Zelina, I feel like they always came out with new kind of things every single time we would see them on TV. And I feel like that's what makes somebody the total package. And all those names that I have on this list, they are the top superstars of today because they have the total package with ring gear and just everything in general. And now we move on to our final category is the Match of the Year. Now, this one was a tough category. Now, there are so many matches that I wanted to put on, but like I said, the superstars were released, so that automatically took them and their category, their nomination out of these categories. So my top 5 matches of the year are Seth Rollins and Edge. I feel like all 3 matches that they had were incredible, so you could put whatever match you want on here, whatever match you think of. Bianca Belair versus Sasha Banks in the main event of night 1 of WrestleMania. We have Bianca Belair versus Becky Lynch versus Sasha Banks in Crown Jewel for the SmackDown Women's title. We have Cesaro versus Roman Reigns for WrestleMania Backlash for the Universal title. And Roman Reigns versus Big E at Survivor Series in a champion versus champion match. Now, all these matches were incredible. All these matches I was on the edge of my seat for these matches. I feel like all these matches just hit the mark with every single one. They just all these matches were incredible. It was very hard to choose these just 5 matches. But those are my WWE Slammy Award nominees. Leave your opinions down in the comment section below on who you think should win these categories. And leave your predictions on who you would have put in these categories. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, champs.